Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Believelandia, Wrestling Edition, Wrestlemania Edition, for that matter. I am your host, Jim Myers. Welcome back. Episode 10. Episode 10 on WrestleMania Preview. Nice. I did not plan it that way, honestly. I kind of thought I'd be at episode 10 a lot earlier, but, things happen. Things happen, right? So, yeah, today is going to be WrestleMania preview. Sorry, sports guys. Don't worry. Next week is NFL draft week, so we'll be hot and heavy. I have put some mock drafts up on Facebook. Probably not as many as I actually did. Yeah. So, yeah, we're talking wrestling. This is purely wrestling. I apologize for all the or the lack of people that tuned in for the sports. All right. In the near future or the far future, maybe a year from now, and you just discover this channel, which happens. There are channels that I absolutely love. I never discovered on YouTube until many years later. And then I just go into their back catalog of stuff. So we just press on, I suppose. Yeah, today is WrestleMania preview. We're going to go over the matches. I'll give you predictions because everybody else is giving predictions, and not that, I don't know, for what it's worth or anything. And please like and subscribe. I made these cool new graphics just for this show, and I spent way too much time doing them. So, but, I mean, looks awesome. If anybody is out there, like, you need a graphic artist or anything, I am looking for work. Always up for work. Feel free to contact me in any possible way. Yeah, okay. I'm not giving people my resume out there. Yeah, but anyway, regardless, like and subscribe. I'm going to hit everybody with this all the time. All the time. If not here, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, whatever floats your boat. Mostly, you can catch me on Facebook. I have found it insanely hard for one person to sit on one part of social media and then just hit all the other parts simultaneously. I know that you can set things up and all that, but like if I'm going to interact with people, I don't, not that there hasn't been much interaction, but like if in case I do, and there's just too much opportunity to miss somebody, and then somebody gets pissed because you don't you know, like it might be a day or so before I even look back at Threads or Blue Sky because I don't regularly go on them or Instagram for that matter. I'm mostly on Facebook. Number one, and then if I have stuff to post and things from there, like it's random shit, like mock drafts today. I just did some mock drafts and then I just threw them up on Facebook. And then it never occurred to me to do it on the other ones. So, uh, you know, yeah, I don't live on foot on social media much, guys. I know. You start your YouTube channel, like, what are you doing, dude? Yeah, right. Okay, I'm already too long into it without even getting into WrestleMania. Let's get into WrestleMania. It is this weekend, and by the time this hits Thursday, uh, things will be rolling. There's the Hall of Fame coming up, and then early Friday is a bunch of like the kickoff stuff, and they're already doing plenty of media. Triple H has already talked a bunch of shit about people that complain. Well, add me to the list because we are here to complain about some things, Mr. Helmsley, Levesque, Paul Levesque, H, Hunter Paul, Hunter Paul, Hurst, Helmsley Levesque. Um, I mean, nothing too critical, like many other people, but I'm not gonna get all mad and upset and almost throw shit or something like that. But uh, let's before we get into the matches, I do have something to say about this build. And you know, I know some people have said like last year was the worst build and all that until The Rock got in. I disagreed. I mean, they came off of 38 and 39 or 39 and 40. Like they put together really back to back awesome threads from one WrestleMania to the next. It was well done. At least as far as Roman and Cody and all the other things that intertwined in between. The things with Rollins and Cody and them teaming up and you know the things that got strung together were really well done. And then, when they went to LA and they're in the midst of selling the company, so it was on display. So this was, you know, their sales pitch, I guess you could say, to TKO or Ari Emanuel. And that company before it became TKO. So was it just for the sales pitch? Because Cody, I don't think people give Cody and Roman enough credit on for WrestleMania 39 in LA. That was I'm not going to put it up there in the top 5 wrestling matches ever, but honestly, and this is jeez, 30 some years when I started watching when I was 8 years old. Has to be has to be one of the best matches I've ever watched. Then they basically redid it. They basically did like the back half of it in the tag match on the first night of 40, which kind of sucked because I almost went and told move for move what they were going to do, especially in the that back half. They kind of I mean, I get it. I mean, it's the tag match, so how can we put something cool together? But we don't have to really, you know, try that hard. I mean, Christ, you got four best of all time in the ring. So, nah. But yeah, so I mean, it was a good 2 year run, and I mean, obviously, the amount of success that they've had from from before 39 into 39 and through 40 and through this whole past year, uh they're kind of they've kind of went back and they're leaning on their laurels a little bit. And I don't know if it's I don't want to say it's lazy because it's just hit and miss. I mean, effectively, essentially, you know, the road to WrestleMania, and I put it on the thumbnail, has been it's it the it the road to WrestleMania is the kids are in the back screaming, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" And at this point, the parents and the adults in the car have had enough and they are ready to get out of the car. And they're almost there. You could see the city. You can see Vegas. You're almost there. Or if you want to really you really want to get into it, if anybody has watched Swingers, this will tell you how old I am. Vegas, baby. They're all fired up. They got Buddy Road Trip to Vegas. Everybody's fired up. Vegas, baby. Vegas. Then, it's a really long road trip. And it's really quiet. And they're about half asleep. Vegas, baby. Vegas. Vegas. Vegas, baby. That's where we're at. We were excited because John Cena turned heel. We have felt like there was this grand NWO-esque plan. And then they went overseas and did a European tour, and there was nothing. And you could say, well, he had a really good promo, and just I'm getting there. It started off with that. I mean, this WrestleMania just comes down to John Cena and Cody Rhodes, and they thought they could put that on a poster, and and honestly, they could just put that on a poster, turn John Cena heel. That's it. That's all you need. And yeah, essentially. I mean, at this point, guys, WrestleMania sells itself. You're going to watch. I'm going to watch. And it doesn't fucking matter if there's a story or not. We're back. We're with AEW. We're just going to throw We're just going to throw you know, all these big dream matches together, and what's the biggest matches we could put on, and that's it. The rest will just mismatch and, AJ Styles, Logan Paul. That'll be a good match. Sounds good. And it will. I couldn't tell you fucking why it's happening, but AJ's the old guy that doesn't like Logan Paul. That, he's been in the company for a year or so now. And, he's had all the other wrestlers on his own podcast. And, like, I'm not, first and foremost, I am not I'm not a Jake Paul fan, but I'm not a Logan Paul fan either. Believelandia, Believeland, Cleveland. I know that's the premise of my show, and we really root for Ohio guys. Not those tool bags. Not I don't care. They live in Puerto Rico. It's not like they have a house in Ohio somewhere. Fuck them. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But if you listen to him, you can tell he gets it though. He gets the wrestling aspect of this. He works hard at it. I mean, he's good and he's really good in the ring. He still needs a little work on his promos, but character work. Very much character work. I'll get there. But anyway, that's an example. This is just, you can call me Jimbo. A lot of people have. So this is just Jimbo going off to the left again. But this, back to the road to WrestleMania, the build. It's been lackluster. And I always tried to see the WWE side of things. I tried to give them, if it's good, it's good. And if it's bad, it's bad. And they're hinging on a lot of stuff. I mean, basically, it's the Roman Punk Rollins match. Cody and Cena are carrying this whole goddamn thing. Everything else under it, I honestly feel like they didn't give two fucking shits. All their creative, or the lack thereof, has been focused on, Cody and Cena, and then it's I don't even know if it was even up to them to make it work. So I guess we'll start there because that's where this, people got excited when Cena won at the Elimination Chamber and then turned heel. And then everybody thought, oh man, this whole Rock and Cody Rhodes thing just went to another level. And the build to that point was The Rock having some sort of, I don't know if it almost came off like they were trying to turn it into a new Vince versus Austin thing. And then, you know, if if you're old enough to remember, you know, Vince first recruited, you know, when Stone Cold became champ, Vince wanted to turn him into his corporate champion, and he wanted him to play ball. You know, he wanted to turn Steve Austin into the the corporate champion, which then ended up becoming The Rock, uh, and then elevated The Rock. But I don't know if they were trying to go that route, but then they just never, you know, they never explained why Rock was out. They never explained why Rock, first of all, befriended Cody when they were sharing tequila and their moms like each other now and they're best friends or whatever. Just fucking, you see how fucking dumb this is? This is the biggest match on the card. Then, you know, they just, I mean, I guess we'll get there when we get to the match, but my whole point is like, I think they had a lot of hope for, you know, they even fumbled the Jey Uso and Gunther thing. That, other than the last 2 weeks, if they would have done something like this prior, or, you know, I get where they were trying to go. You know, Jey Uso, I mean, this thing has gone on for 10 weeks. And it never built, built. They put Jey Uso on Saturday night's main event with Gunther for the world title. And I don't know. I just, Gunther beat him once, and then they faced each other again, and then beat him again. And he, I think it was, maybe they were trying to go the Rocky route again, where it's Ivan Drago this time against Rocky, and they beat him down and beat him down. I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going with all that, but I honestly, I don't. After they beat him, and then Jay just blew everything off. It's like, party, let's eat, let's eat, let's eat. Then he wins the Rumble, right? And then, all right, the only guy to face is Gunther. Fine. That's fine. I'm going to beat you, man. I'm going to beat you. I'm going to do it. Out of respect to Cody, he's, you know, they were former tag team champions and all that stuff. So I got my eye on you, Gunther. But they never really did that. And then it was just, you know, Gunther coming out there and saying a bunch of bullshit, and it was just boring for weeks and weeks and weeks. It was just the same thing, and it really wasn't going anywhere. And they weren't, you know, I understand you're not gonna tip your hand, but you have to act like lean to it to let people know, like, wait a minute, you know, you have to make them see. You have to show people. Like, it's a fucking show. You have people aren't just going to, I mean, people already do, but that's the problem. Honestly, that's the problem. Is people just start coming up with their own thing. And then when it doesn't meet these high expectations, people get pissed. Like, unless you're actually showing, at, not blatantly showing, but just showing what direction they're headed, people can get on board with things. It's just when you just leave it out in the open, like, well, it could go this way, it could go this way, or it could go that way, and you know, people start getting in their head like all the stuff that could happen, and it just doesn't. Especially with how social media works, you know, one ID gets thrown out there, and then it gets picked up, and they're like, "Oh, dude, I want that." And then it doesn't happen, and then you got the majority of people going, "What the fuck is this?" And the Gunther and Jey Uso thing, it just, I think the long law, the because this is, you know, Wrestlemania is later now. There's too much time in between, and the stuff that happens at the Royal Rumble is going to get forgotten by the time WrestleMania happens. And they're just basically what it is it's just all filler until you get to the point where you wanted to end the story that you were trying to tell. And it's a long way to get there, to fill in. And so basically they just don't do nothing. Unfortunately. Because to me, if they would have done the thing with Jimmy, they would have done that weeks earlier and then built on that. I think people would be more excited about the match than what they are. You know. But we'll get to all that. Those are just my thoughts. I have been very let down for the build, for, you know, the lack of creativity in storytelling. There, you're not giving much to these matches. I mean, Jade versus Naomi is probably the most story filled, that has the most backstory to it, that probably has a legit claim to. I wouldn't even say it's just a pay-per-view match, but I mean, is it really WrestleMania worthy? I mean, you can do a lot of things for 2 nights, but you know, but people, you know, I mean, at least they built that match to where, people are gonna give a shit one way or the other. Naomi has been doing great. I don't like her ripping off of uh, Owen Hart's deal. You know, he did about the same thing with the caution tape on his gear, but I guess, she's just trying to revive that a little bit, and it makes sense as far as her character is concerned. Probably makes more sense for her than it did Owen Hart back then. But yeah, we're gonna get into it. Let's just get into it. We're already a half hour in, and I haven't said anything about a damn match yet. Here we go. Chad Gable finally gets it. I'm sorry. El Grande Americano from the Gulf of America. Oh, wait. No, they changed that too now. I don't care your whole political deal is. I'm the one that's kind of on the other side of changing. I find it ridiculous that we've changed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America because it doesn't really matter. Everybody's just going to still call it the Gulf of fucking Mexico. But anyway, I found it hilarious that, he hails from the Gulf of America. Like, I found that hilarious. You know, I, I just found it hilarious. It makes a lot of sense because this is fucking ridiculous. I just wish they would finally push Chad Gable not as a joke. Like, how many times does he have to prove that he can do the comedy thing and make it work? Unless you name him Shorty G again and do all that fucking nonsense. Because this match should kick ass. Like, fully. Like, it might end up being like wrestling match at least of the night. Maybe the whole fucking weekend. I mean, essentially, it's new Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio. And I think it's gonna rock, actually. Nothing behind it other than Chad Gable's been trying to prove that he can beat luchadors. Why? I don't know. He's American from the Gulf of America, and maybe he does not like luchadors. Maybe they're trying to tell the whole thing with the deportation thing. I don't know. Without telling that. I don't know. That just kind of hit me just now. Other than that, I don't know why. I don't know what their beef is. I don't know. You got American made versus the Mexicans. You tell me where the story is. I mean, does the loser go get put into Guantanamo Bay or something? Or El Salvador? I don't know. I mean, the Latino world order, a gang? Wow, that got all political. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just telling like it is. That's how I'm seeing this. All of a sudden, it's just hit me like that. All in all, this match should be cool. It should really work. I want to say Chad Gable wins. Or I'm sorry, El Grande Americano. They really should have made this like mask versus mask or something. Unless they plan on continuing this story. Which, the way things have gone for Chad Gable. I'm going to go Rey Mysterio. Because, it seems like Rey Mysterio always wins at WrestleMania. No matter what year it is. Okay. Moving on to more fleshed out stories. So, Naomi ends up being the one that pushed Jade Cargill off of a loading dock onto a car and put Jade Cargill out of commission. Meanwhile, she was out of commission, and Naomi and Bianca Belair, who has yet to reveal that she might possibly, but she did because she's wearing all black now, and she's kind of got an attitude. I fully expect Bianca Belair at some point to be revealed that she also was part of it. I'm gonna say Jade Cargill wins just because she's been very protected in this, and I really think that they're going to start to put this. They might be playing the long game, like Bianca Belair might. I haven't decided yet, but she'll eventually win the championship, and then it's going to come down to Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. Whether they do that like over the summer or things like that, I don't know. But it's kind of time if you brought Cargill to come in and be this star as they have propped her up to be, then WrestleMania is the time you elevate her and you put the rocket on her back, as they say. So I kind of thought Naomi might, but I think Jade Cargill might be the way to go. And then she can, like, it might turn out to be like Bianca Belair comes out to, it looks like, to help Jade Cargill, but then she tries to interfere. So maybe it might be Naomi. I can see that happening because that stuff happens at WrestleMania. The reveals. But who knows? Who knows? That see, there again. I'm a fan, and I'm coming up with my own thing. And then if that doesn't happen, then I'm gonna come on here and be like, "This didn't happen," and I am a. No, I'm not gonna do that. I might. It depends on how the match goes, or if something dumb happens, or it becomes botchamania. I might say, this is fucking dumb, but uh, I don't think that'll happen. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jade, but like that scenario, that might happen too. So, all right, moving on. Moving on. War Raiders versus New Day. Does anybody care? I hope. I hope, for the sake of tag team wrestling, for two of the best tag teams over the last 5-10 years. Like if you go back to when they were War Machine, and their NXT days, I hope these guys just tear the fucking house down. I hope they're capable of it. I just hope that. And then I hope Big E comes out and hits it's Kofi or Xavier Woods interferes somehow. I hope there's some sort of Big E involvement, because since that whole thing and they turned heel and, they shit on Big E, there hasn't been really much of anything from the New Day. Every week it's just been, you guys hate us. Whatever. We don't care. There's got to be a payoff of some sort for that angle. That's why that's why they're here. Shit, that's why they're on WrestleMania. I mean, it's got to be why, right? I mean, Big E's got to at least come out and get somewhat physical, not get thrown around and all that. I don't want to see that happen. But, or maybe Big E turn. Nah, I don't want to see Big E turn heel. I just want to see him involved. That's all. That'd be cool. That would make this match better. But yeah, I'm gonna go with a New Day, because you can play hot potato with the tag champions. That's all. And you could do it. And New Day winning the tag titles, or one of them, at WrestleMania is cool. It's cool with me. And I probably spent more time talking about it than what the match will be. So there's that. Next up. Oh boy. LA Knight. Yeah. Gets Jacob Fatu for the United States Championship. Nice. This might also be fucking awesome. A lot of people are hoping for Fatu. Do we see new Bloodline members? Do they become a Bloodline wolf pack? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where they're going with all that. I like Jacob Fatu as a bad guy. I mean, look at the guy. I don't see LA Knight winning. I think they're gonna give it to Jacob Fatu. I think the Fatus are gonna have a very good WrestleMania weekend. Maybe not the Anawais, but the Fatus are. That's your Solo Sikoa. I'll get there in a minute. I'm getting lost in thought. Yeah, I'm gonna go Jacob Fatu, because there's gonna be a lot of. I see this being a WrestleMania where you can, change a lot of championships, and I think there's gonna be some people. I'll get there in a minute, but oh yeah, by the way, this is why you come here for the great coverage of all things sports and wrestling. This is Saturday, by the way. In case I definitely did not mention, this is Saturday night, night one. In no particular order. I just went kind of in order of importance. So, yeah, Jacob Fatu. I think something might happen with the bloodline, but then again, they're really kind of distancing Fatu as just him. So I think that's done on purpose because that's the what's happening is what was reportedly what they were afraid of when they started Fatu in the bloodline. And he's overshadowing Solo Sikoa. Which I'm sorry. Look at him. Look what he does in the ring. I don't see Solo Sikoa doing fucking moonsaults as big as he is. Sorry. And Solo Sikoa does not look like a raging lunatic that will just, he is like the new age. Like, you remember how they used to portray like Umaga and the Samoans, and they'd just be wild and, they're uncontrollable, and they always had to have a manager to control them. He's kind of a nice blend of just being a dangerous person and that wild Samoan esque character. It works. And I dig it. I dig it. Give him the fucking championship. Next up. Oh boy. Where do we go with this? Where do we start? You want to talk about unintentional storyline? I firmly believe they put Charlotte Flair with Tiffany Stratton because, Tiffany Stratton's been compared to Charlotte Flair since she stepped in the ring. Rightfully so. I mean, duh. But I also think that they put these two together to elevate Tiffany Stratton. And that has not happened. To no fault, to a small fault of Tiffany Stratton, but she's gotten put in a really shitty situation with Charlotte Flair. Because she's doing what she did with Sasha Banks. She tried to do it with Becky. Name everybody that she's worked with. Name one person that Charlotte Flair has elevated. I'll wait. Leave a comment. Please. And thank you. She has elevated. That is her job. It's not to shit on the other person or try to overthrow the promo or throw her off and things like that. This is just my opinion, but the way I see it is she's fucking with Tiffany Stratton on purpose because, Charlotte Flair's got to have her spot back. Girl's going to win fucking 100 titles in 8 years of professional work. Fucking dumb. I had all the respect for Charlotte Flair. Really, more people shit on her than she even really deserved. But you look back over time and you go over all this stuff, like, because that's what I've been thinking. This whole feud is, name me one woman that Charlotte Flair has elevated where she hasn't tried to just step on their shtick or, make the segments about her and, and then I don't understand how she's supposed to be the baby face in all this when Charlotte Flair, like, she returned and, like, For some reason, people thought it was going to be like this Triple H esque return, where he was the bad guy, but he came back and people just were so happy to see him back and all that. Like, I felt bad for Charlotte Flair when she just tore everything in her knee and she's out again. But like, she, for some reason, she wants to put to bed like I'm not my dad or anything, but yeah, no shit, it's Ric Flair. Like, not crazy old guy Ric Flair, but like, people, I don't think people understand. I don't think she understands. Like, like Ric Flair was the shit as a bad guy. Like, that's why everybody loved him and loved to hate him. Like, I don't understand. Like, why she thought that, I don't know. And then she gets into this thing with fans and stuff. It's, you're not, first of all, you're not doing yourself any favors when you just start attacking the crowd the way you do. And then you start talking to people in general the way you do. It's like, I don't know. It rubs you the wrong way. And I guess that's essentially it. I'd really love to say Tiffany Stratton wins, and that might, I from the reports that I've read and things I've heard, they're not happy about all this backstage. And I think that's why they've kind of dialed it back. Like, they haven't really let them talk much since, which is, that's a good thing. But I respect the fact that Tiffany Stratton has stood her ground, and she has fought for herself, fought back, and protected herself. I'd love to say she retains. That might happen, but LOL. Charlotte Flair wins another women's championship. Great. Can't wait. Can't wait for her to bury, Tiffany Stratton, and then I don't know who the fuck else is on SmackDown. That Chelsea Green. There it is. She'll beat Chelsea Green for the United States Championship, and she'll collect all the belts. Then they'll just add it to her fucking count or something. I don't know. I'm done talking about this. It's upsetting because this should be Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair levels of really good in the ring. And even then, that gets me thinking, Rhea Ripley, it took years. I said that on a previous video when I talked about their stupid promo. She buried Rhea Ripley at 35. Was it 35? And the build for their second one in LA, that sucked. That really sucked. But they had probably one of the best women's matches ever. Doesn't, top 5. We'll just put it top 5. It doesn't come close to Sasha and Bailey in NXT, though. NXT Brooklyn. Sasha Banks and Bailey. when Bailey, that's how you elevate somebody. That was not only was Sasha and Bailey at NXT Brooklyn one of the best, well, my opinion, the best women's match ever. It was one of the best matches I've ever watched. Is it going to be that levels? No, no. This this could end up being a very good match, like very Rhea Ripley. It could be better than Rhea Ripley, but I don't think Tiffany Stratton is seasoned enough to have that match yet. She can get there, but this is supposed to make Tiffany Stratton look good even if she loses, and that has not happened, and I don't expect that to happen. So, yeah, Charlotte Flair, unfortunately. Next match, we gotta go. We gotta, we gotta. Oh shit! Hold on, hold on. I gotta get back on track. All right, here we go. This, I'm really rooting for Jay. Gunther has worked his ass off to literally pull Jay to this finish line. Jey Uso wins the World Heavyweight Championship. The big question is how good of a match can Jey Uso put on without doing 30 super kicks? I think I think how this goes, Gunther works the match and he just beats the fuck out of Jay. And when all hope is lost, super kick. And not like I'm hoping not they don't do the Roman and Jay match where Jay just gets the shit kicked out of him and it's boring as all fuck. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. But I mean, you could probably do it like I think is the Sami Zayn when he lost the Intercontinental title. You could do that template where he beat the shit out of Sammy and then Sammy just fights his way back and fights his way back and then bam. But Sami Zayn is also an amazing in-ring wrestler. I'll give credit for Jey Uso. He damn well deserves everything that he has gotten up to this point. Winning the Rumble. He's one of the top characters and acts that they have. He absolutely deserves this. But he chokes this match. It's back to the Intercontinental title for him. And that ain't a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. But I'm really rooting for him. He's going to win. Everybody's going to win the title. That can't happen. But, I mean, again, don't look to me for predictions. This is just what I think. But I think that's how that match is going to go. The build, I talked about it a little earlier. Man, hasn't been great. Up until, basically when Gunther just bathed in Jimmy's blood. Holy shit. Which that was a great visual. I don't know why. I don't know why, especially the day and age that we're in, why guys are drinking each other's fucking blood or licking their blood. Why would you just put somebody's blood in your mouth? I mean, I'm willing to bet they're probably not drinking it, but man, why would you fucking do that? Did we not learn? I mean, did we not learn anything from the pandemic of how easily germs spread? Christ. And that we got motherfuckers out here, licking other people's fucking blood and drinking their blood and all that shit. Like, I get bleeding. I can understand, bleeding in a match and, even wiping it on your chest or whatever. I mean, fuck. Why would you? Why? Why are we going to this other level of making it look like you're tasting their blood? Oi. Maybe it's just me, but god damn. Oi. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I'm hoping for a one of those old school methodical worker matches. If that makes sense. I hope it becomes better than what we're probably expecting it. That's low for me at this point. I mean, again, this could be a snore fest, or it could be like a holy shit, he did it type of thing. And I'm hoping, since it's WrestleMania, I'm hoping for the holy shit, he did it. That was awesome. All right, moving on. Main event. This is going to be for sure the main event. Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and no longer Seth freaking Rollins. Winner of the Paul Heyman on a pole match. I mean, for the affection and love of Paul Heyman. I don't know, man. You know, I'm not saying that even this it didn't need to have stakes, but you're putting three of the all-time best in the ring. Especially Roman Reigns coming off the run that he did. I mean, I would have loved to just seen Roman versus Rollins. You didn't even need a title. This just feels like it was all thrown together because we have our three biggest guys. We need something to do with them. So let's just force fit a match. I don't like it. I don't like it. The match is going to be fine, I hope. What's probably going to happen is Seth Rollins is going to turn into, not back into the architect, but I I think it's going to be Paul Heyman siding with Seth Rollins. And that will end up being the way they go into the summer, and CM Punk does. You could just put him anywhere, I suppose. Like if CM Punk has a problem with you, we're fighting. So that's all. I think CM or Seth Rollins wins. The story, I hate the story to this. It's just whoever Paul Heyman is going to be, their dad. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea, guys. Um, it's gonna main event it, so something dramatic's gotta happen. Here's what I was kind of hoping, like somehow, some way, CM Punk was going to the favor was supposed to be CM Punk gets this match. The winner of this match gets inserted into Cena and Cody. I don't know why. I don't know why. Then I had it in my head that since especially CM Punk has been doing a lot of Bret Hart tribute things, and he does the little Hogan motion, and especially in AEW, he kind of became a little bit of a Hulk Hogan. I thought, if you remember, I think I've told this story and shared this thought that CM Punk would win this match, and then the next night, like WrestleMania 9 and Bret Hart and Yokozuna, Cena would win. Cena being Yokozuna in this scenario. Uh, Cody Rhodes being, the Bret Hart. Cena wins 17, but then out comes CM Punk, says the favor was I get who wins this match, and it starts right now. Or some bullshit. Like Hogan comes out and he just wanders around ringside to help Bret Hart, who Hulk Hogan and Bret Hart never had any interaction ever on TV. And, there again, you're supposed to elevate those guys. And that didn't happen. Hogan does Hogan, big boot to Yokozuna, and he wins WrestleMania 9 and the World Championship. So, CM Punk being Hogan, he comes out, he says, that's not the main event. This is the main event. And it's right now. That's the way I would book it. I would redo the WrestleMania 9 because they are in Vegas and they could, make it better and maybe tie in all of this shit that makes no goddamn sense. So I think Seth Rollins wins for the affection of Paul Heyman, and he becomes the new Paul Heyman guy. Or Brock Lesnar comes back and destroys everybody. God, let's hope that doesn't happen. All right, moving on. This is night 2. Night 2. Sunday night. Why is this match happening? AJ Styles and Logan Paul. AJ Styles does not like Logan Paul at all. And he's the old guy that had to work his way all the way to WWE till he was 40. Just kidding. He was in his 30s. But anyway. Poor AJ is going to lose again at WrestleMania. But he's going to have a great match. He's going to put Logan Paul over. Because Logan Paul brings all the monies for whatever reason. I'm moving on. It'll be a great match. I'm sure of it. AJ Styles can work with everybody. Christ, he made John Cena a legitimate wrestler. So, there you go. This match, Las Vegas Street Fight. Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. This is one of those you got left on the outside looking in type of things. Your two former champions. Sure, let's do it. We can, make sense. Out of all the things that don't make sense on this card, this actually kind of makes sense. They haven't told it like it is, but Damian Priest last year became the world champion by cashing in the Money in the Bank on him. And I don't know, Drew just never found the time to pay him back up until this point. I don't know. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I think Drew McIntyre wins because he's cooler. I think he deserves it. I think either guy wins or loses. It doesn't really, honestly. There's nothing at stake. There's no real story other than Drew McIntyre leads to pick a fight. That's my Scottish coming out in me. Moving on. I'm already super late. Of course, guys, right? Someday I'll learn how to make these things fucking quicker. The women's tag titles, Liv and Raquel versus Bayley and Lyra. I think Liv and Raquel retain. Lyra and Bayley fuck up. Bayley gets pissed. She turns heel. She goes after Lyra for the Intercontinental title. Which makes sense because somebody needs to elevate Lyra Valkyria. And, oh, look, Bayley is one of the all-time greats, and she is more than willing to elevate everybody that she can. And she will. So, there's that. There we go. Making it quicker. This match, oh boy, this match might I might be looking forward to this more than a lot of other people. This might steal the night, actually. Because I think Braun Breaker, this is going to be it's his first WrestleMania. And he's going to show out. I mean, he's that Braun Steiner Breaker, or Braun Breaker Steiner, or Breaker, the Breaker Braun Steiner. He's ready for this. And he maximizes every time he is out there doing his thing. I think him and Penta have great chemistry. I think Penta's gonna fucking amaze people. Finn Balor, Finn Balor, not Pin Balor, but it is Pin Balor, is going to take the pin. Braun Breaker Steiner, the Breaker Braun Steiner, Breaker is, I think him and Penta kind of get crossed up, and then Dominic Mysterio walks out with the Intercontinental Championship. And he fucks over Finn. And Finn always takes the pin. Unfortunately, because I'm a giant Finn Balor fan, and it's just sad at this point. It's either sad or funny. Let's just go with the funny angle, and Dominic just, it probably will end up in some stupid roll up or something, but he'll surprise Finn Balor and roll him up some way, somehow, and win the Intercontinental Championship. And good for Dom. That'd be a fun way to get the Intercontinental title off of Braun, so he can get pushed to maybe be the guy to take the world title off of Jey Uso. Ooh, I just had that thought. I like that thought. Either way, this will be probably way more fun than people think it's going to be, and I think it's going to be balls to the wall awesome. Just absolutely awesome. You have Penta. Now, he hasn't been in WWE, but he ain't afraid of like big stages. I mean, it's literally Cierro Miedo, or whatever, or however you say it. Cierro Miedo. Guy has zero fear. Zero. And Finn Balor's done this long enough that this is old hat for him. And he knows what time it is. He just does. He's always been one of the best wrestlers in the world. And yeah. If it's to put Dom over, he'll do it. He'll absolutely do it and make everybody else in this match look great. So yeah, this is going to be awesome. I'm one of the very few matches on this card that I'm really looking forward to. And it's good to see the Intercontinental title back on WrestleMania, like, prominently. All right. Let's get this thing over with, shall we? This match is people have put and maneuvered this. They've muddied this thing up way too much. Way too much. Somewhere along the lines, it feels like they fucked up. They didn't realize that they were going to have Rhea Ripley. Somebody forgot to book the EO Rhea Ripley match to where she loses the title to EO. And then they quickly did it. And then she dropped it. But then also Bianca Belair won the Royal Rumble. And also there's like things were scattered apart and they're trying to tape it all together. That's the best. I hope that makes sense. I actually think, I don't think Rhea Ripley wins. I think Bianca might win, but I could also see Io Sky. Either way, I think this scenario kind of continues into after WrestleMania. I don't know if it goes all summer. But then again, it could go, Bianca wins with Naomi's help. That would kind of be cool, actually. Somehow, some way. I've. This is no disrespect to Io Sky. She is unbelievable in the ring. I have all the respect for her. She is probably one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. Be honest. They don't give her enough time, especially for her character, to really do something cool. What she did in NXT was fucking cool. I dug that. This, not so much. She's just the little Asian girl that gets bodied out of this situation. To me, this match should be Bianca versus Rhea Ripley. That's the WrestleMania match. They've been teasing Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair for years. At least a couple years now. They've teased it, and then one gets thrown on SmackDown and the other gets on Raw. And then they swap places. They've kept them apart for, I think, their whole run since they got called up. You would think, since they were doing that, the payoff and the build would be a one-on-one match. Instead, it's kind of like the Rock that year at WrestleMania where The Rock and Triple H should have faced each other. But then it ended up being the four-way match. That's what this feels like. So, yeah. Let's get to the main event. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. Against the heel, but I've always been the heel, John Cena. Because of you people. You people did this 15 years ago. Or something like that. I don't even know how we got here. I think they just wanted John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, and they were like, does anybody have any ideas? And they had like one idea, but then they didn't flesh it out in whatever meeting this was. And it's sad because it should be a bigger deal than what's happening. I mean, Cody Rhodes versus John Cena is something that I think Cody Rhodes wanted it in the first place. Now, how they got there, I don't know whose call that was, but they should have gotten a lot of other opinions. John Cena turned heel at, I called it a generational heel turn. I wrote about it. It's probably one of my most looked at things since I started Believelandia. And I even had high hopes. They could have done so much of this for this. Like, I wasn't even expecting really a like an NWO Hulk Hogan-esque type of thing. I was expecting more of the, like I said earlier, like the Vince angle, but then turning it into like, the Rock should have come out and said, look, you little fucker, I tried to get you on my side. I've tried and tried and tried. I've even beat the shit out of you at WrestleMania. And then you beat Roman Reigns, and you made me somehow, The Rock should have come out and said, you made me look like an idiot, and you're gonna pay. And I got the biggest fucker that's gonna do it. There's nobody in the back there that's capable of doing it. This guy is gonna win 17, and did like a Vince McMahon-esque, I guarantee it type of thing. You don't have to invoke Vince McMahon, because I know that's a very much not a good thing to do. But you can rehash those ideas, especially when you have none, and turn it into something new. Like The Rock did God's work last year to will interest in both nights of WrestleMania. One night one, to tell the story for night two. I thought that's how they were going to operate on things forever after the merger and TKO taking over. I thought that's how we were going to do things now. Now, I don't know. I don't know the reason for the lack of the build. I don't know if maybe they've had so much success that they're kind of leaning back. Maybe they did have too much time. And it was more about how do we fill the time until we can actually get to the good shit. But the fact that, it should have been, even, like, I understand Cena's a very busy guy, and he's not a full-time wrestler. That's not my problem. They should have done a lot like what they did last year, and The Rock doing promos on Instagram or Twitter or on social media somehow, some way, and doing it in other spaces. And then when he actually does come there, it's to fuck with Cody Rhodes. Instead, we just get basically John Cena that's just angry at the fans. He hasn't even said why he turned his back on Cody Rhodes. Or, I mean, I guess he did because Cody Rhodes is just like of the fans. Like that guys. I'm not a writer. I mean, I'm sort of a writer. I don't write storytelling books. I understand storytelling. That's lazy fucking writing. It's lazy writing. This tells me that they just wanted to do John Cena and Cody Rhodes and fuck how we get here. It's Las Vegas. To me, one of the main events should have been Roman Reigns and The Rock. To tie up the bloodline stuff. I thought The Rock was responsible for like Solo Sikoa and Tamatanga and Tangaloa, the Gorillas of Destiny, because they're Haku's sons, and Haku is really, for Samoan culture, he refers Haku to him as an uncle. So with Sikoa and Haku's kids, I'll just say that. And then Jacob Fatu, I thought he was going to be the mastermind behind the new bloodline. And the new bloodline was set to take out Roman Reigns. And then, at some point, they can't take down Roman Reigns, and it gets revealed that The Rock was behind this. The High Chief, mind you, that he wants to be called now. Like in Las Vegas when they showed you the bloodline tree, family tree, and he's listed on there as the High Chief above Roman Reigns, the tribal chief. So he's on the bloodline pecking order. He is higher in rank to Roman Reigns. So I thought he was going to be like the puppet master behind the shadows that was actually fucking with Roman or something. That never happened. And then I thought that would turn into what they had teased in Las Vegas last year, that this year in Las Vegas we would get The Rock and Roman Reigns. And for whatever reason, that's not happening now. And that sucks. I'm sorry. It sucks. So here we are. And then Cody goes on to face, John Cena or, CM Punk or whoever. But you could have separated it and then still told that story from last year. But here we are. We got Roman Reigns and CM Punk and Seth Rollins for Paul Heyman on a pole match. And then we've got this open-ended Cena versus Cody feud. Maybe this all plays out in this match. Maybe we get more of a reason why. Maybe we get more of a reason why on Friday. But I know a lot of people have John Cena as champion at 17. I've got like everybody fucking losing their titles except for like the women's tag champion. Somebody's got to keep their world championship. And I think Cody beating John Cena. I think Cody beating John Cena in his last WrestleMania match elevates Cody even further. And that's the whole goal of all of this, is to do that. And I think Cody retains. There, I said it. I think John Cena gets number 17. Maybe SummerSlam. Maybe somewhere down the line, like after he's done being heel. And he goes out. Maybe he goes out as a champion. Maybe that's how they do it. I'm not sure. But I don't think it happens at WrestleMania. I think a lot of people are expecting John Cena to win 17 at right here. And I wouldn't be, I wouldn't come on here and get all mad about it. Just depends on how they do it, really. Maybe The Rock comes out and, totally screws Vince, or does a Vince screw job, or, whatever. There's a lot of open-endedness to it that they could still do a whole bunch of stuff for it. And we shall see. I'm at an hour and 35 minutes, so I've got to wrap this shit up, guys. And that'll do it. I hope everybody enjoys WrestleMania. I mean, it's WrestleMania. Just enjoy it. Watch the matches. Watch the stories play out. Don't get too angry. You know, it this is the stuff. This is the show that ends. It should be the store. It should be the show that ends the season and starts a new season like a show does. And sometimes I do that, and I think more so it's just the fans that, you know, has this idea. But we well definitely watch. I I'm not excited about much. I'm sorry. I'm not bringing the no. I demand more, man. I demand more. I'm a fan. No, sorry. That's not me. It's not me. I would like it to be better. Yes. But it's just not. And that's just the way it is. Just like life. So, uh, there's your life lesson. That's how we'll close it out. If you've made it this far, and I hope you have. And if you made it this far and you've invested all this time to listen to what I have to say about it, subscribe, please. There's plenty of room. There's plenty of room. Hit the like button, please. 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 I don't beg, but it's so there's nothing to it. If you've watched all this way and to this point, please subscribe. It's worth it. It's really worth it. I'm getting better. Look at these awesome graphics. I put all this stuff together. This is handmade. I didn't use AI. I'm old school, damn it. I'm an old school graphic artist. I say graphic artist, not designer. That's how old I am. I enjoy doing this. I like to put my stuff out here. I don't have grand plans to go to to be like a busted open or things like that. People have always seemed to be interested in what I have to say about sports and wrestling and those two things in particular. So, I don't even like myself. I don't even like to see myself on camera. I don't like to take selfies or pictures and things like that. It's not me. So for me to be doing this and put myself out here like this, I mean, it's a lot. It takes a lot to get somewhat amped up to do a video. I'm getting better. I'm a one-man show. I am a one-man wrecking machine. Music reference. Get that? Comment below. Okay. So, follow. Subscribe here. Like. For the love of God, please like and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, anywhere that suits your fancy. If you would really like me to do a different platform, do not say Twitter or X or Zwitter or whatever we're fucking calling it. That's a non-negotiable. But I will go other places. I just don't know what they are. And those are the places that are easy to cross over and do multiple posts. And I can't even do that right, guys. Like I talked about at the beginning, I mostly do stuff for Facebook, and then old guy brain forgets there's Instagram and Threads and Blue Sky. Fuck me. All right, that's enough for the self-promo stuff. Have a good weekend. Enjoy your WrestleMania. Enjoy it as a fan. If you have kids, get them around and just enjoy it. Just enjoy it, guys. That's the best stuff. That's the good stuff. On that note, I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headaches stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need. What you need. We're broken, it's tragic. We're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic. Believe you could have it, and I know of sadness the